All right, everyone, the legacy media tabloid hacks are really worried right now because people are getting tired of the fact that they spent 2 years lying to the entire public. I've been tired too, but the thing is, it didn't take a genius to realize that some of the shit that they were doing was screwy before, was already disingenuous fake news. Like the very term fake news, the idea of saying that a story could possibly be false was construed as an attack on the First Amendment by these fucking corporations. It's like CNN. Jeff Zucker comes out, well, we're not investigators. We're just reporters. We just kind of say what we're told to say. Well, yeah, I know that. I know your parent company that isn't even a U.S. firm tells you what to say, but that doesn't mean that you can easily get away with stuff on this scale. The thing is, here's what happens. Let's say it's like you remember with the Beto rally and the Trump rally down at the border, which wasn't that long ago, it was like last month or something. You remember how some official within the fire department claimed that Beto O'Rourke had like way bigger crowd than Trump. He had like 20,000 people at his rally, and Beto's own Twitter handle tweeted out at peak during the rally, right in the middle of Beto's speech. Robert Francis. Tweeted out a picture. You could see the entire crowd. There wasn't 20,000 people. There were barely 2,000 people there. It was a lie. What happened is that they reported on that. They never retracted, by the way, even though it was blatantly false. They never apologized for their blatantly false lowball estimates of Trump's crowd. What happened is that some random person in the police department or something down there, or some person posing as a police officer or a fire chief or something, called them up on the phone, and they grabbed the story because, number one, it was a hot take. Number two, apparently they don't do fact-checking anymore. And number three, it conformed to the reality they want to be real. Here's the thing. We've got to understand that because of the structure of places like CNN, most of these people are corporate neoliberals. They don't want Trump's populistic tax policies. They certainly don't want it to go further. They're not pro-gun because they're afraid of the masses being armed because, you know, they're the upper crust, they're the plutocrats of our society. They don't want accountability in media to have actual realistic reporting. They certainly don't want any possibility of anti-monopoly laws being applied because they're all fucking monopolies. So they hate people like Trump. And so because of that, they want to show you a reality in which Trump is orange man bad. A reality in which Trump is a loser, a tax dodger, a draft dodger, a greasy, diabetic, fat pig, basically, and a total loser at everything he's done in life. He'll cause a nuclear war, he'll cause a depression, all the things that all of these people said throughout him. He colluded with the Russians and so forth. But the thing is, they spent 2 years with unnamed sources telling the American people all of these lurid details about things that were supposedly going on, and they were all patently false. And at the time, when they came out, when a lot of people were accepting them, I said, there are two possibilities here with some of these really out there stories. The number one possibility is that people that aren't actually in the know are posing as those in the know and are trolling the media. They're trying to get fame, by making literally fake news because they know that the tabloid press will grab that hot story in a second as long as they say it right. That's one possibility. The other is that the news organizations, which are for-profit corporate entities that have to deliver a product in order to make money, are literally making their own news because it conforms to the reality they want to portray, and because they want to stop Trump, and because it's a slow news day. That is, they made shit up. Like with the Pissgate stuff. These things never happened. The media pretended they did. The Trump Tower meeting, in which one was it? The Trump Tower, New York or Moscow? I can't remember. Some of the meetings that supposedly went on there, they never even occurred. Taking Cohen seriously on some of the things he said. Inside source says that it's absolutely true. Yes, Drumpf is going down, orange man bad. It was never true. Therein lies the problem. Here's the big problem. Because of journalistic privilege, because of the First Amendment, the way it's been construed. If CNN makes up a totally laughably false hit piece fucking story and runs with it, there is often no way to actually challenge the veracity of the story, because when you ask them who the sources are, they can say, we can't tell you that. We can't give you our sources. We protect our sources. First Amendment says we have a right and even a responsibility to do that. We have to protect journalism. Now, it's not journalism, it's a defamatory hit piece. It's like when the Data Society makes up numbers out of its fucking ass, misconstrues them anyway, piles them together into statistics that literally mean nothing, and then write a hit piece defaming dozens of YouTubers. There's really not that much to be done about it. You don't even have a source on where their fuzzy math is fucking coming from. And so it becomes very difficult. The legacy media literally lies about people knowingly, and there's no real defense for it other than mockery. And that's what's happening now, and it's got them frightened. They're frightened because they realize that the one weakness they have is that nobody trusts them. Why would you? They spent 2 years lying to everybody about the Mueller report, lock, stock, and barrel. At the very least, they were too inept to investigate. Now Zucker's coming out and saying, well, no, we're just reporters. We don't have to investigate things. It's called investigative journalism. They don't do it anymore. Oh, Tim Pool does. Fucking Alex Jones does investigative journalism. It's really, really funny when all the people that they call extremists, charlatans, and bad people are the only ones that actually go out and attempt to look into what's happening, or at the very least analyze things and think about what's happening logically instead of assuming that some random person who gave them a story is credible. People send me news tips all the time. Sometimes they send me first-person sort of things. Hey, I'm here in Venezuela. This is what I see. I have to judge for myself whether I believe it. It could be something that's totally false. A rally that never happened. I still have to fact-check the best of my ability. And I'm one person. Dude, if I can do that at least somewhat decently, CNN should be able to have the staff necessary to look into a story for 5 fucking minutes before they put it out. Yes, you have a responsibility to investigate these reports. If somebody calls in on your tip line and says, hey, such and such is a pervert. Hey, this person over here burned an orphanage to the ground. You don't just write the story based on that. Where's the evidence? It's just a claim. A source close to the White House says that Donald Trump never eats toast because he sees ghosts when he does and starts to hallucinate. What are you talking about, dude? They lied to everybody for 2 years. And they're going to keep lying. These are corporations. These are not actually, these are for-profit corporate entities that are almost always owned by parent firms that are not even U.S. based. These are not U.S. news outlets. They are multinational, globalistic corporations. The left, which trusts these people with its life for some unbeknownst reason to me, doesn't seem to understand that. They see CNN and they see it as a standalone US-only network or some stupid shit that has offices other places in the world. Why do you think they do? They've got so much loyalty to the agenda here. And by the way, they care about the little people, even though their pundits are all millionaires. Their staffers are all, 100,000-aires. It doesn't make any sense. Bunch of bullshit. So they defame people openly and they largely get away with it. The one chink in their armor, the one problem that they have, of course, is the fact that nobody fucking trusts them. And hopefully it'll be fewer people now. Look, we can show that they've been demonstrably wrong. In the wake of the Mueller fallout, we know most of what they reported was fake. That's about all. Peace out.